Many thanks for joining us at this hour on QTV. You are watching QTV News and I am Ajibintu Drame. In tonight's top stories, the Minister of Tourism and Culture has stressed the need to preserve major heritage sites during his tour of tourism attraction sites. Stakeholders in the energy sector on Thursday gathered at a local hotel to review and validate a developed strategy for mainstreaming gender in energy access. The former Director General of the NIA, Lamin Bobaji, on Thursday appeared at the TRRC to narrate functions of the institution before narrating his own ordeal at the hands of members he once led. The Birkama Area Council, supported by Jinkok Foundation, on Thursday cleaned the Birkama market to promote hygiene and prevent the spread of COVID-19 and other diseases. In international news, as the race to find a coronavirus vaccine gathers pace, African nations are making sure they are not left behind. In sports news, the WAFU Zone AU20 tournament underway in Chess, Senegal, has now reached the semi-final stage. African Club Football Showpiece finals takes place on Friday and sees two Egyptian giants face off in what Egyptian fans are calling the Dream Final. The 2020-2021 Total CAF Confederation Cup kicks off this weekend with the first leg fixtures of this first preliminary round taking place around the continent. Those were our main headlines in tonight's bulletin. Do stay tuned for the news in detail. Now the local news in detail. The Minister of Tourism and Culture has stressed the need to preserve major heritage sites. He was speaking to journalists following his visit to the Mongo Park Memorial Obelisk in Sami Karantaba.
As he continues his inspection tour of tourism facilities and heritage sites, Minister Bass says the country must jealously protect its historical sites in order to continue being a major tourist destination in the region. Highlighting the importance of these sites to the growth of tourism in the country, he says government's commitment in investing heavily in tourism infrastructure is a clear manifestation of the importance the government attaches to the sector.
This government believes in action. You either become action-oriented, you move on, or you excuse us and we move on. Because that's not for me or for anybody, it's something that we believe in. And we do not have sacred cows in anything that we do. We look forward and not backward. When we move that way. And that's what this government believes in. And that's why we're moving with changes. And these changes, as Adam Abaro said, the boss is there. If you want to be in the boss, be in the boss. And move with the spirit of changes that you want to reflect in the country.
Among the places he visited on Sunday was the Mongo Park Memorial Obelisk in Same Karantaba, where he was briefed by National Center for Arts and Culture officials on plans to construct a perimeter fence to protect the site, the Kunkiling Forest project site, which is under construction, the Musamolo Tomb, where officials revealed plans to also construct a perimeter fence, as well as renovate the site, and the Sotuma Resort, which is also under construction.
We will certainly have the project, and it will contribute immensely to the life of the people who live here. And also, we are ready for the training program to give them all the way through the GTHI, which is very much in its high gear to train Gambian, particularly local people who live around, so that they will be able to work in these facilities.
He also had kind words for the contractor, who he described as a true patriot who has a reputation of finishing projects works on time.
Stakeholders in the energy sector on Thursday gathered at a local hotel to review and validate a developed strategy for mainstreaming gender in energy access. As Aliou Cisse reports, the plan seeks to promote gender equality in energy production and consumption.
The Gambia National Action Plan for Mainstreaming Gender in Energy Access is a 5-year plan, 2020-2025, drawn from the strategic objectives and targets set in the ECOWAS policy for mainstreaming gender in energy access and the ECOWAS directive on gender assessments in energy projects. The plan seeks to ensure that women have access to energy services to enhance their entrepreneurial capacities as well as uplift their socio-economic status. The participants will use the convergence to review and validate the action plan, which will establish a national standard as far as gender equality in energy production and consumption is concerned. Lamin Kamara, Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy, recognizes energy as a vital ingredient for socio-economic development and a key determinant of the development of any country. For PS Camara, it is a necessity for some critical sectors like energy to mainstream gender in their development process.
I wish to mention that the National Action Plan for Mainstreaming Gender in Energy Access is definitely in line with the government's overall policy goal of sustainable energy for all, especially women who have a lot more to do with the utilization and management of energy, particularly at the domestic level. More so, this is the reason why the government has been supporting energy initiatives, including those by the private sector, like Reagam and Bolo, that go to directly impact women's involvement in energy project planning and implementation. No doubt, this National Action Plan for Mainstreaming Gender in Energy Access to be validated today will go a long way to strengthen the collaboration between government and non-state actors, including women groups, in addressing gender-related barriers in energy access.
Olawale Olaniyan is the hired consultant by the ECOWAS Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency ECRE to prepare the plant, and he hopes for a constructive engagement.
This has been prepared, the documents which were gathering together to validate this morning stroke afternoon has been prepared through collaborative efforts of the stakeholders. And my duty is to support the gender focal unit in the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy. I've been working closely with them. They've been taking the front lead, and the support has been given to them.
Adama Gassama Jallo, Senior Energy Officer and Gender Focal President of the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy, says the Gambia, like most ECOWAS region, is faced with energy crisis that continues to undermine the country's development efforts. Women and children remain the most affected.
The inequality between men and women with regards to energy provision in the Gambia is not only seen at the end users level, it is also evident in the production and supply of energy services. Although women have demonstrated the capability to strive with remarkable success in the energy sector, barriers still exist.
The challenge of mainstreaming gender in energy access requires the regional ECOWAS policy instruments are implemented at the national level. The ECOWAS policy was drafted by the ECOWAS Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency ECRE and the ECOWAS Department of Gender and Social Affairs. In June 2017, it was presented and adopted by the ECOWAS energy experts, the ECOWAS energy ministers, the ECOWAS Council of Ministers, and finally by the ECOWAS heads of state. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
The former Director General of the NIA, Lamin Bobaji, on Thursday appeared before the Truth Commission to narrate the work and functions of the institution he once headed before narrating his own ordeal at the hands of officers he once led. Babu Kassi has the rest of that story.
Bobaji began his testimony by going through his background and education before entering into the military and later to the intelligence service before his appointment as Director General of the NIA in August 2008, replacing Benedict Jammeh. The witness told the commission that upon his appointment, he gathered his men and heads of departments to brief them, stressing that people should not be arrested and kept at the NIA because of personal reasons. He confirmed to the commission that illegal detention were frequent before he took charge. When put to him that the same treatment continued even when he took over, the witness denied, saying he was not responsible for those illegal acts, as there were seasoned, experienced people handling those positions. In lengthy exchanges between the witness and the lead counsel about the continuous illegal detention and torture under his watch, the witness refused to take the blame. Even when asked about the 50 illegal detentions that took place during his tenure, the witness denied having knowledge of them.
It is easy to sit here and say, I am not aware of it. But you see, you are responsible for what happened at the NIA during this period.
Nafo mamin kalamta mba fola ma kalamta katunko nte sonne minken nante sonne yake dola.
Yes, but what I'm not aware, I will say I am not aware because I do not want what happened to me to happen to others.
The witness said he did not like the tortures that took place at the NIA. And during his leadership, when a narcotic officer was beaten and stripped naked, Baji said he had to call the ex-president and informed him about the barbaric acts done to the officer and was going to investigate the matter. The witness said Jammeh did not say a word to him.
Abring incident happened to nga call nga fay mimu wajibotin ya.
Since at the time that the incident happened, I called him and I told him, and that was incumbent upon me. I told him instantly that this was happening. And this is my intention. He was the one responsible for me. I was under him. I informed him for the reason that he gives me the go-ahead to do what I wanted to do.
Bobaji said since ex-President Jammeh did not give him the go-ahead to investigate the matter, he stood back and let it go. On his removal and redeployment back to the army, the witness said he was arrested in November of 2009 and accused of taking part in a coup plot led by Langtombong Tamba. He said after spending more than 2 weeks at the security wing, he was finally picked up and taken to the NIA, where he faced a panel led by the new DG, Numo Kujabi. Baji said he was asked if he knew Langtombong Tamba's involvement in the 2006 coup plot, which he categorically denied, despite some agents pleading with him to involve Langtombong Tamba. After refusing to implicate Langtombong Tamba, the witness said he was kept in detention for a few days and then transferred to Mile 2 prison, where he was detained for 3 months. Whilst in prison, the witness said he was taken back to the NIA at night, cuffed and eyes covered. The witness said the Ministry of Justice and the DPP also invited him and asked him to lie against Langtombong Tamba and others that they were involved in the 2006 coup plot and would be reinstated in his position with a higher rank, which he declined. The witness said they later appeared before the court and were sentenced to death. After an appeal before the Supreme Court and the Appeals Court, the verdict was changed to life and they had to stay in jail until they received a presidential pardon. Babkar Sise, QTV News.
We will go for a short commercial break. The news continues with more local stories. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. The Birkama Area Council, supported by Jinkok Foundation, on Thursday cleaned the Birkama market to promote hygiene and prevent the spread of COVID-19 and other diseases. Omar P. Jaro has the rest of that story.
In this COVID-19 affected period, sanitation and hygiene are a necessity for everyone, especially in the markets selling food products. This will help protect vendors and customers, prevent the spread of COVID-19 and other environmental problems. During the exercise, the chairman of Birkama Area Council, Sirifo Sonko, said environmental health and sanitation are a council core mandates and top priorities. However, Sonko added that the council cannot do it alone and called on people not to engage in indiscriminate waste dumping.
Well, we have set a committee called Media Committee, which is responsible of sensitizing people in any issue of the council. This is also part of their mandate to sensitize people about how to make the environment clean. And I believe, this is like a self-help, because hence the environment is clean, we have a healthy environment and we have a healthy living.
The founder of Jinkom Foundation, Keba Madi Bojang, said the market cleansing is among his foundation's priority areas and promised to fund similar exercises in other markets.
By this action, we hope that everyone will take it as their responsibility to discourage indiscriminate act of dumping waste in marketplaces.
The governor of West Coast Region, Lamin Sane, said the activity is part of the Council's efforts and strategies to keep the environment clean, particularly the market where our food items are sold.
To clean the environment should be everybody's business, because where there is health, there's good living, there's good life, and much more the market side. I think I've been doing this thing for a while in the previous government, and in Brikama here, we call it Operation Clean Brikama. We come once in every month to ensure that we clean the market, we clean Brikama as a whole, and any public place that we think that is fitting, like the markets, the health centers, the garages, we clean them.
Cleansing exercises are important in communities, and if we wish to prevent the spread of diseases, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic, we need to sensitize the people to desist from indiscriminate dumping and do more of this kind of initiative. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
We will take another short break and we continue with international and sports news. Do stay tuned. Welcome back once again. In international news, as the race to find a coronavirus vaccine gathers pace, African nations are making sure they are not left behind. More in this report.
Much of the talk around coronavirus vaccines in relation to Africa has tended to focus on whether the richer nations would give the vaccine to African countries or whether African countries would be able to afford the likely cost. Some African countries have decided what they cannot afford is to wait for a handout from anyone. To this end, a network of 13 African countries has joined forces with global researchers to launch the largest clinical trial of potential COVID-19 treatments on the continent. It is called the Anti-Cove study and involves Antwerp's Institute of Tropical Medicine and 12 other international research institutions from various countries. In addition to the 13 African countries, there are 26 partners involved. These non-African partners are from Switzerland, Spain, Germany, France and Belgium. The research aims to identify treatments that can be used to treat mild and moderate cases of COVID-19 early and prevent spikes in hospitalization that could overwhelm fragile and already overburdened health systems in Africa. The clinical trial will be carried out at 19 sites in the 13 African countries, led by doctors from these African countries. The spur for this collaboration emerged after calls for responses to the coronavirus better tailored to the developing world and the challenges of often underfunded healthcare systems. The study will test the efficacy of treatments in 2,000 to 3,000 mild to moderate patients in Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Ivory Coast, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Ethiopia, Ghana, Guinea, Kenya, Mali, Mozambique, Sudan and Uganda. It is hoped this will allow researchers to identify treatments that can prevent progression of coronavirus from a mild to a severe disease and also limit transmission. A few other vaccine trials are already at an advanced stage, and at least one of them from Germany is expected to be rolled out in December. For QTV News, I am Mamadou Mbodj.
And now to interesting sports news. African club football's showpiece final takes place on Friday and sees two Egyptian giants face off in what Egyptian fans are calling the Dream Final. And the final features several historic firsts. More in this report.
For fans of African football, it was always the season finale to look forward to. For Egyptian football fans, it is a match beyond their wildest dreams. The biggest game in African club football will see two of Egypt's biggest clubs come face-to-face in a final in the Egyptian capital, Cairo. The match is also historic for other reasons. As Al Ahly and Zamalek come face-to-face, it will be the first time the continental showpiece has featured two teams from the same country. Also historic is that, for the first time, and like the UEFA Champions League, the final will be a one-off, not a two-legged affair. The big disappointment for all, but more so for Egyptian fans, was Thursday's announcement that as a result of the current situation of COVID-19 pandemic, CAF and the Egyptian FA have confirmed in a statement that their utmost priority is the safety of Egyptian and African football families. Therefore, it was decided the game will be held behind closed doors. Egyptian sides have made a habit of winning this competition in its current and its previous form, the Africa Cup of Champions. Whoever wins this one will see Egypt provide a 15th winner of the tournament, which is 9 more wins than any other African country. Between them, these two clubs account for 12 of the Egyptian triumphs, with Al Ahly having the edge with 7 wins, including back-to-back titles in 2012 and 2013. For Zamalek, their most recent of 5 wins was in 2008. Al Ahly have lost their last 2 CAF Champions League finals, against ES Tunis in 2018 and Wydad Casablanca in 2017. However, both of those finals were played over 2 legs, with this being the first single-game contest. Unsurprisingly, both teams come into the final on the back of great runs to get here. In the 9 games it took to reach this point, Al Ahly won 6 and drew 3. For Zamalek, it was 5 wins, 3 draws and 1 defeat over the same number of games. In spite of the COVID-19 restrictions, football fans are looking forward to an exciting encounter, and we hope it certainly will be. Reporting for QTV News, this is Ade Darami.
The 2020-2021 Total CAF Confederation Cup kicks off this weekend with the first leg fixtures of the first preliminary round taking place across the continent. Here is the report.
Gamtel FC will be representing the Gambia and have been drawn against TAS of Morocco. The matches are scheduled to be played over the weekend from Friday the 27th to Sunday the 29th November. Gamtel FC's match is scheduled for 5 p.m. GMT on Saturday the 28th of November at the Independence Stadium in Bakau. The prelims will see the victorious teams make it through to the first round proper, where the 14 teams given byes will be waiting for them. We wish Gamtel FC all the luck on Saturday. Reporting for QTV, Ade Darami.
Well, before we end this bulletin, let's take a quick look at our main stories. The Minister of Tourism and Culture has stressed the need to preserve major heritage sites during his tour of tourism attraction sites. Stakeholders in the energy sector on Thursday gathered at a local hotel to review and validate a developed strategy for mainstreaming gender in energy sector. The former Director General of the NIA, Lamin Bobaji, on Thursday appeared at the TRRC to narrate the functions of the institution before narrating his own ordeal at the hands of officers he once led. The Birkama Area Council, supported by Jinkok Foundation, on Thursday cleaned the Birkama market to promote hygiene and prevent the spread of COVID-19 and other diseases. In international news, as the race to find a coronavirus vaccine gathers pace, African nations are making sure they are not left behind. In sports news, African club football's showpiece final takes place on Friday and sees 2 Egyptian giants face off in what Egyptian fans are calling the dream final. The 2020-2021 Total CAF Confederation Cup kicks off this weekend with the first leg fixtures of the first preliminary round taking place across the continent. Well, that's it from me in tonight's bulletin. I am Ajibintu Drame. Thanks for watching and join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. And please stay tuned on QTV. Bye for now.